What's up, y'all? LTJ Reads is here. This is Throwing Light, and if you're not throwing light, you're not acting right. Before I get started, this is episode 155. So that's great. Before we get started with the interview, remember, please start subscribing to my YouTube channel where you get all the Throwing Light interviews. I have the Throwing Light tour going on right now, visiting different cities around the country, some international coming as well. I'm working on a documentary about the leather community. I'm doing artistic projects, catch music videos, have some other things I'm working on, some side projects. I plan on filling this baby up through 2026. So y'all just keep your eye on me, start subscribing. If you got questions or anything like that, reach out to me. With that being said, let's go ahead and kick it over to our guest. We got Benoît over here, who is your Latex Montreal 2025. How are you?
I'm great. What about you, Louis?
I get asked this question so much, and it's always the same. I'm in Texas. I don't know what we all have our challenges,
Yes.
and some are harder than others for sure. So I'm
Yeah.
grateful to be able to express myself. I don't take that for granted. I know in a lot of places that's not the case. I am grateful, you know, for what I have and where I'm at, and I do, and I'm fully aware that in a lot of ways, life is good. In a lot of ways, it's not. But I my heart goes out to anyone that's suffering right now with a lot of the bad decision making that's going on in the world. With that being said, let's talk about you in Canada and Quebec and your
Yes.
latex. So, how did you get into latex?
So my first introduction to latex, I would say, was seeing American Horror Story season one. Zachary Quinto in full gimp outfit.
Okay,
That was the
so yeah, I remember it's been like that was it was man when American Horror Story came out in the Murder House. That's the one you're talking about.
yeah, exactly. First season. I was like, I saw Zachary Quinto full gimp outfit. It did something to me. I was like, even though it was in a setting of horror in an horror movie, I was so aroused by it.
Yeah,
So,
that's fair.
um, but it took me many, many years to try it on. So one of my good friend now, Coach Eric in Montreal, uh, let me try some of his pieces, and instantly it became a new kink. And um, right after the first time he put me into latex, I ordered my first ever catsuit.
You wore a
And
cat.
that was back, yes, my first piece was a catsuit in bubble pink.
So what made you go? What? Please help me get to that personality trait. What
Yeah.
did you? Why?
Why? Because I am usually someone who's very bold with my outfit choices. I'm also a drag queen, so like I like everything that is like very bold, very bright. So I don't know why I was obsessed with having a pink latex catsuit. So that was my first piece. To
So
this day,
you were a pink pussycat.
oh yes, a Pink Panther.
Pink Panther. I know that's really what's going. I forgot. I know it's Pink Panther, right? Did you go around solving mysteries?
Um, oh yeah, I was chasing mysteries.
That is cool. Being drag is so great. It is great to be able to combine aspects of yourself. How has drag and latex intersected for you?
For me, it's more about like the both community coming together. So I'm the host of the Pop Montreal contest with my drag persona.
You're a
So
pup
I've been
too?
no, I'm not a pup.
Oh,
But I hosted the Pop Montreal
okay,
contest
got you.
in drag.
Okay,
So I've been using my drag as a tool to make the Finnish community more visible by raising money, doing charity works. So I've been using my drag persona as a tool for the Finnish community.
yeah. Do you know Rita Baga?
Of course, I know Rita. Uh,
Tell
So
me
when
I
I
said
started,
hello or
of
something.
course I know Rita Vaga. She's one of our most well-known queen in Montreal.
I
Um,
only watched one season of Canada. Not that I have anything. I watched Canada season one and absolutely loved it. And I did watch and I do watch Canada's versus Drag Race. So I've seen those three. I haven't watched seasons 2 through 6 or whatever on that. I actually prefer Canada to the US season to the franchise, to be honest with you. Just the energy is different. Um,
yeah, the
so
energy of the Canada's franchise is really, really good. I love it.
it's
And
not, it never feels like, it doesn't feel like production is shady when I watch Canada's Drag Race. Like,
um,
I think Brooklyn does a good job at being a positive figure. You know what I'm saying?
yes.
I think she's
And I
a,
would say there's probably a little bit less drama too.
there. I mean, it's still entertaining, and there still is that, but like, it's just a different energy. It just feels like the drama on the U.S. seasons are so manufactured. Has that ever been something that you wanted to do?
I've auditioned twice for Canada's Drag Race, and one season I was pretty far in the process.
Are you
So
doing it?
at the moment I don't think I want to do it. So the drag aspect in my life is a little bit less present as a title holder because, as you know, it takes a lot of times to like I travel a lot. I make sure I'm going to a lot of events, showing up, like planning fundraiser. It all of those things takes a lot of time. So I've been stepping down a little bit for from my drag career a little bit.
So how do you feel about that?
I do feel good because still go see drag show. I started a drag class in college 4 years ago. It's a extracurriculum activities, so like a theater troupe or a dance troupe. So with one of my close friends, we created a drag troupe, and so this continue even though I'm not teaching this year. I found some new teachers to teach the classes, but I started that and I was involved for it for 4 years.
That's amazing. A drag class. They really ought to
Yeah.
offer that.
It was a first in Quebec, and it's fun to see how with drag people can express their gender, discover themselves. And because it was college, it was mostly people around like 18, 19, 20, like people that wanted to discover themselves and took drag as part of discovering themselves. So I was teaching makeup, how to host a show, um, how to style a wig, make an outfit, improv, like all those aspects that makes drag so good.
That's awesome. That's
Yeah.
cool. I want to go to class. Let me know when to sign up when you go back to that. So you've been focused on your title.
Yes.
Um, um, so what did you want to accomplish as a latex title holder?
So, even though I had the title since October, and we have, I don't know if you just talked with Antoine, right?
Correct.
So we had a contest for the first time in 6 years in Montreal.
That's what I heard.
Yes, under a new administration, and it used to be organized by Fusion. Now it's Phoenix, Montreal. And even before that, I wanted to create more space for latex people because latex is a little bit less on the is not as mainstream as leather. So we kind of needed to create our own space. So for the last 2 years, I've been organizing Rubber Social in Montreal.
Is it, you said a rubber social?
Yes.
Okay.
I said, yeah, sorry. So, sometimes with my French accent.
You're fine. No, no, you're fine.
Good, good, good. But yeah, I've been organizing Rubber Social for the last 2 years, and it was a way for me to create more of a rubber community in Montreal. And what I'm trying to do is to create that scene that be more inclusive. So having more trans, non-binary, woman, not just being like white cis gay male.
Yeah.
So um, I started alone, but now we're just a little team and we work all together to try to make um, that event more visible, but also showing more inclusivity.
Being that you'll have that big graph, me and Antoine talked a little bit on about this, but there hasn't been anyone with that title for about 6 years, correct?
Yes, exactly.
What did you, how did you feel about coming back to something that's basically reinventing itself?
Yeah.
Um, was there anything lost, any kind of connection because of that?
Um, Surprisingly enough, the judges that were at the contest this year were mostly the one that had the title back in 2019. So we were able to connect with them and they shared a little bit of their knowledge and everything. So I feel like it was just like a continuation of what they started. So I still talk with so Latex Montreal. The title used to be called Mr. Rubber Montreal. So the last Mr. Rubber Montreal 2019 was Spike Inu, and we still chat very frequently. If I have question, I text him, and I also just today I saw Guillaume Dupuis. He was MIR 2018, if I'm right, and he was so yeah, we had a great discussion today. So I don't feel like something got lost, but I think we reconnected and something new was created with those two mixed together, if that makes sense.
So, what do you think about MIR, Mr. International Rubber?
What about it?
So, like, has that something that you have gone to or had any kind of, you know, uh, interest in?
So yes, the first time I went to MIR was 3 years ago when they started to be hosted in a hotel. I went with my work, so I managed a fetish store in Montreal. And so we went to MIR for the first time 3 years ago, and I've went since then. So and for me, it was something eye-opening because I saw what a rubber community can look like. So that's why when I came back to Montreal after the first year, I was like, oh, I wish we had that in Montreal because I didn't know the rubber scene before the pandemic because I started to be in rubber during the pandemic. So I came back and I talked with Coach Eric, who's my friend who put me in latex for the first time. And I was like, oh, I wish we had that. And he was like, oh, before the pandemic, we had Rubber Social. And I was like, oh, we should just restart it. And that's what we did. So, and MIR inspired me to like create the Rubber Social in Montreal.
Um, and how do you feel about like being the first one back? Um, do you feel that you have the ability to kind of create the way forward right now for the title? Or do you feel limited in any way?
Actually, I feel the opposite way. I feel unlimited because there's no really uh, like I don't have to live to a center standard because it's been so long.
Right.
So it's just I'm just trying to do my best and make it the most beautiful thing that I can live because it's very much a big experience. I've
So
already been doing like going to places, meet people, and feel all the love because to be honest, for right now, it's just been very a lot of love, a lot of like support from the Montreal community and even outside of Montreal.
where are some places that you wanted to go with the title?
I can tell you where I've been for now.
Yeah, sure.
So I went to Nice Sofetish, which is a smaller event in the south of France. They were a club who were sponsoring our contest in Montreal. So we're trying to create connection in between Francophone Kingster. So that was really nice. I went to MIR again. I went to MAL, Toronto Leather Week. I also was a judge at Florida Rubber back in February. I'm just coming back from Claw. What else? I'm trying to think.
Are you
So at the end of the,
are you going to IML?
I'm going to IML.
That's
I'm gonna go there to support my stash brother Antoine.
correct.
I
Yeah, I will see
have
you
to.
there. I will see you there. So that's great.
Oh, I'm excited to see you.
Yeah, I'll be there. Mhm.
Yeah. I am also going to Rubwick, Paris at the start of May. Part of me trying to like connect the francophones
I
all
think that's great.
together.
That's a great idea. That really
Yeah.
is. I think that's a great approach, to be honest with you. To be honest, if I had your abilities, I would do the same thing. I've always had an interest in France. You know, I've only been to Paris, but I know the countryside's much different. That to be honest with you, in my lifetime, if I'm able to leave and go other places, it just feels like it's something I need to do. Like I need to spend some time there. And see what I really have and what I can do because my issue more is my fluency. I'm not I've literally have a talent that I let kind of die. You know what I'm saying? But I know if I trust in myself and I put myself in a situation with French speakers and I take a deep breath and I try,
Yeah.
it can come back. Yeah, I've seen it do that. And I remember going to Paris when I was in Paris and I had met someone, and I met up with him when I got to Paris, and like the first 2 nights I stayed in a hostel, but like the last night I ended up staying at his place, and I hung out with his friends, and we went and we were hanging out by the Seine River, and everyone was speaking French, and so I was just sitting there in this group, and they got their food, we're like coming from the store or whatever, and everyone's just talking French, and so I'm like, I'm gonna try. So I started trying to speak, and I was speaking it, and then they just completely stopped speaking French and went to English once I did that. So it was interesting. Like once they saw me make the effort, they made it easier for me to communicate after that. But everyone was in. It's like being in like a movie and everyone's in on a surprise and whatever. But it's in my heart to go back, and I almost got to go back last year to do some modeling, but we'll see. They're in Spain. So it's so great that you're traveling and you have all this representation. You're coming back. You're doing things your way. Have there been any major challenges that you faced that you've had to overcome?
Uh, oh, that's a good question. Um, I would say like the biggest challenge is not to burn out myself because I'm doing so much. So sometimes I need to like be at peace with missing some moment.
Yeah,
And you're gonna have FOMO. You're gonna miss something. You have to because if you're doing everything, the body's not gonna follow. So at one point I was like, okay, I'm doing too much. I need to like step down a little bit on some of the things I'm doing because if I'm continuing the way the pace was, I was like, I won't be able to make it through the year. And also, like, you talked about MIR earlier, but I want to compete at MIR too. So I'm like, it can be more than a year. So I'm like, I need to pace myself and make peace with that I'm not be able to do everything I would like to do.
look, there are people that like with my brotherhood. I mean, there are people that just went to what they thought were the two major events, MAL and IML.
Yeah.
So like going above and beyond all I did I guess I was the first of my titles, so I thought it was 100% important for me to try to be as visible and let people know that we exist, so I get it
Yeah.
100%. Not just burnout but mental health, and
Yeah.
your mental health when you're a title holder, you have got to be self-aware and cognizant to know that you are using your body and your brain and your capacity, and you're doing a lot. You're doing a lot. And you've got to also just make sure you're taking care of yourself. Like you're saying, rest. Don't overexert yourself, and don't
Yeah.
commit don't overcommit. You might relate to that where you
Yeah.
don't want to overcommit.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people
Well,
get the title and they're just like, yes, 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 yes.
and there's so much you can do. And if you're traveling, it takes more time, it takes more energy. So you need to be aware of all of those. And if someone is running for a title and like start to have a title, like my suggestion would be like choose the events that align with who you are and what you want to present.
And that's
Like,
true. Don't pick ones just because you think everybody like you have to really start thinking about yourself as an individual too and the impact you want to make. So if you're
yeah,
just following the cool kids and thinking you need to just go to these big events and you're not actually even making relationships, what are you doing?
no,
What work are we're doing here?
yeah. You need to like really like uh even if they're smaller events, you're probably going to connect more with people and you'll be more authentic and true to yourself to go to like smaller event than just doing all the big ones.
People
And
remember
I'm like,
and they appreciate you when you come to the small events. Like I can't
ex
tell you how many thank yous I get just when I show up. I typically usually have something to do, but people utilize me in various ways now. It's not just
yeah,
putting on an event. I've been a part of entertainment things, so I've been trying to just kind of when I was in title mode, it was like being in military mode. You know what I'm saying?
hmm
And
yeah,
the opportunity to have fun, I was taking away from that. Like I
yeah,
wasn't allowing myself to have fun because you have the title and you're like, I gotta make the best of this. What am I gonna do? I've got this to do. I want to make sure these events. So it's a lot, definitely. And it sounds like you had coaching. I didn't have a lot of coaching. And with the Mr. Texas title being something well established, so much energy did go to that. And
yeah,
so, sometimes you don't know what you need until you go through it. And there are a lot of things I would do differently if I had have gone back and do my title. But having the title and being involved without the title, I enjoy not having the title more now. Because it's only because of that the knowing when to say no.
yeah,
That's a talent that you have to learn.
yeah,
And if you can't say no, it's draining. It's a draining process, and you've got to know your boundaries. I know what you're like because we think we're going to miss everything if we're not at something. But thankfully, with
exactly.
social media, we can participate and be interested and to ask questions. So I get it 100%. But I think it's important though, if you can travel to travel and to be a physical presence in these spaces and let people know you care, you want to be there, you want to help it grow and all that. So, I didn't get to go to Claw Cleveland, but I went to Claw LA my year.
Yeah,
I'm thinking about going back this year to maybe work with them, but I haven't experienced Claw in Cleveland. And so I know they're two differently total things, but I went to Claw in Cleveland because it was like class focused. There was no competition.
nope, not at all.
I got to meet some of my IMO brothers early on. So, and then I decided to go to Dory for another
Yeah,
event in San Francisco, which has nothing to do, you know what I'm saying? But so many people
yes,
there. And a lot of I have so many siblings in California. I knew they were all going to be there. So,
exactly.
yeah.
And it's like you said something earlier that resonated to me. You need to have fun. You need not to forget to have fun because at first I didn't have fun, and right now I'm like, if I'm showing some like good energy and fun, people are wants to talk to you. They want to like interact with you. If you're too serious, it's like I like to be someone approachable because I'm very sociable. I'm a social butterfly. I like to talk with everyone. So I feel like when you have fun, people wants to come to you and talk to you.
Well, let me tell you something. You're doing good if you're even able to have this conversation because I could not have these conversations. And so I didn't know how to talk about. I didn't know that. So the fact that you can think this way and know that, you're doing good, because some of these lessons are not learned into post title until it's over.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
I didn't have anybody. I didn't know what to ask, who to ask, what was going on. I knew I was going through things and I
Yeah.
wasn't always happy, but I didn't know how to communicate that.
Yeah. And like communication is super important and like all the spheres, but I think like um where am I going with this? I'm getting lost in
That's
my
okay.
thought. I'm sorry.
Don't worry. I've done a lot of these, and sometimes I have to. Okay, let me circle back around. Where was I? It's quite okay.
Yeah.
So we're getting close to the end, but we're not there yet.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you feel differently at being at leather events versus rubber events? Do you feel more at home at rubber events? Do you feel like a fish out of water at leather events?
That's a really good question. So it can go both ways, depending on the events. Sometimes I do feel a little bit different. But I always found my crowd or my people at every event because even though some people are like very leather, they're gonna have their bluff attire, they do love rubber too.
Yeah.
And so it really depends. But yes, I do feel really at home with my rubber community. Like I had such an amazing time at Florida Rubber. So I got to know more of Pussycat.
There, I was literally going to say Pusscat right on, just literally the same exact time as you just now. Yes.
Yeah, I
Cat is
put,
this cat is someone that yeah, this is I've been look, I'm relatively new, but I'm turning 3. And these people feel like I've known some of them a minute, you know what I'm saying? So, and
yes.
Pushcat is a super visible, and he's got his new book coming out. He was on the show in February. He's been on the show twice.
Yeah.
So I know, I mean, when you're talking about like real deal, like to a T, like
Oh yeah.
that's the real deal right there.
Oh yeah. Looking at like what Pussycat have accomplished like over the years and not just as a title holder, even before.
And
Like
it continues.
it continues and like creating more space and more titles and like it's very inspiring and like it is something I would love to do in Canada. Like in Canada, we don't have title holders anymore except in Montreal for leather and
Yeah.
latex. So like in the back of my mind, it's something I would love to create. So like I'm trying to get more involved with the crowd in Ottawa and Toronto because it's like the two biggest city close to Montreal. And so I'm trying to show up more to events in Ottawa and Toronto and trying to build connection with those community over there to maybe eventually create something a little bit bigger.
Where's Ottawa? Is that Edmonton?
So Ottawa is in Ontario. It
Ontario.
is the capital of Canada, and it's 2 hours.
Edmonton. Where is that at? Is that a city?
Edmonton. Yeah, Edmonton is a city, but it's more toward the west.
I don't know what province that is. I was just like, I don't look. I don't. I took Canadian geography when I was in sophomore in high school. I don't know everything. I know some things, but I know there's a hockey team in all the major cities. That's how
There
I
is.
learned. To be honest, I played hockey video games, and I had a geography class, and yeah.
Did
So,
you watch Heated Revelry?
I have not watched it. No, I haven't. To be
Okay, you
honest, I
should.
don't know much about it, but
Oh, okay,
I'll do
that's
what
okay.
I'll do what the cool kids are doing. I'll check it out. I'll check
Yes.
it out.
It's also like for me, like it's a Canadian show and it's nice to see like some like gay story being very like interesting and see in a positive way. So I would suggest you to watch it. But yeah,
I'll do
it's
that. Low key, I'm a big horror fan, and so
okay.
I do watch Slasher. I'm a big
Okay, yes.
that series. I feel like that's Canada's American Horror Story. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think it's better. But
Ooh.
no, I'm aware. You know, look, I there's no bigger Degrassi fan than I've been. I watched every fucking season. Okay, every season. I know all the characters except for the new class. I
Yeah.
know I follow some of them on Instagram. I that was Canada for me.
Yes.
Like legitimately, like Degrassi was like literally. I watched Degrassi. I'll put on a episode now, but that was always cool to me to just kind of see how things were different just from an educational standpoint. All right, we're
Yeah.
towards the end of the episode. I have one last question for you. Is
Yeah,
there
go for it.
anything that you feel like we are not shedding enough light on in the community?
Oh, sorry, I missed a little part
You,
of it.
do you can you think of something that we do not shed enough light on in our community, in your opinion?
That we don't share enough. Oh, that's a great question. I'm kind of like stumbling on this one.
That is
Um,
the theme that did stumble.
I'm
God,
like, oh,
you are not the first one to stumble. No worries, but think of something.
but
Got it.
yeah, I'll take just 1 second to think about it. That I'm like, um, like I think we just like for me, one thing that I always look for is vulnerability. So I think there's never enough vulnerability, I think. Like just
No,
being
you're
yourself and true to your emotion and what you're going through is usually you're gonna find people that live the same as you. And like it's okay to feel vulnerable at an event, not feeling well, not feeling worthy, and talking about it with someone sometimes is gonna help you connect with others.
yeah.
Like I had one of those moments um I was missing my partners back in that Montreal. I was missing having affection because I was long for a longer period than usual. And I talked with a guy about it, and he was like, "Oh, did you just want me to come to your room and we cuddle for like 30 minutes?" And I was like, "Yes." And he just ended up staying in my room for like an hour and a half, and we were just cuddling and talking, and it made me feel even better than any session I could have had this day because I just feeling like I was missing affection.
Wow. That's a great story. Yeah, go for it.
Yeah,
So, no people, you can just get affection. So there's nothing wrong with that. I think that's cool. That's cool.
exactly.
You
It
seem
and
to
it,
like know yourself and your needs, I guess.
I think it come with age.
Or being a drag queen, I don't know. Like
Uh,
that puts you on a different plane, that there in itself. That's a superhero.
yes. Drag for me is superhero. Like if you knew the whole
That,
story behind my drag, you would know.
they are. They are.
Yeah.
That is
Yeah.
that's a fact. All right. Well, meanwhile, that has been our episode. It's been such a blast having you here. I'm looking forward to seeing you at IML.
I am too.
Watching. Reach back out before MIR happens for you if you like. See what we've been up to. Get an update for you before you compete in that.
Oh,
With
I would
that
love
being
to.
said, there's one thing for you to do. Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
All right. One, two, three.
If you're not throwing light, you're not acting right.
There we go. Right on, awesome. All right, y'all. Well, that's been another episode of Throwing Light. Hope y'all enjoyed this as much as I did. We are out. Bye.